Hey besties, if you watched my video yesterday, I was talking about abandonment issues, and right before I started, I went and I was gonna delete some of the recently deleted videos from my phone to make room, give myself some more storage space, but there was one video that I was like, oh, I accidentally deleted this one, but I still need it. So I was like, I need to recover that before I delete anything else. So I went and found that and recovered it, and I was like, all right, I'm good. And then I didn't delete anything. And then I started filming and I was talking for like an hour and then it cut me off. It was like, you're out of storage space. And I was like, didn't I just delete everything? But I forgot to actually do that. So I did that today. So hopefully I don't get cut off again. But yeah, I was talking about just like the friendships that I've had and lost throughout my life. It's been a lot of people like moved and stuff when I was like from elementary school all the way to high school. Yeah, my friends were moving and I was like making new friends, and then they'd move, and then yeah, so I was like, I got to the point where I was in college. My roommate was like a girl who I'd gone to high school with, but she transferred our senior year to a different high school, so it was kind of weird. And then I woke up to her having sex one day, so like I was like really mad about that, and I was like, I don't want to live with her anymore. It was like not just her having sex, it was in the room like while I was sleeping, you know. It wasn't like in another room and I heard it. It was like I woke up and I was like, I'd never really like kissed anyone. I had like one, maybe two kisses in my life, 3 technically, okay, but yeah, I'd like never had sex, and it's just like, it was really weird. And it was like my friend and like the guy was not just like her, like the guy she was dating, but like a guy that was in my class that I actually met and like befriended before they got together. So it was like 2 people that I knew separately who like did that. So yeah, it was like but I told myself that like I would forgive her as long as they like, it was true love, you know. I was like, maybe they just were so in love they couldn't keep their hands off each other or something. And then she told us that was like near the end of the year, like June-ish, and then like a week later or so, I think I left to take a midterm or a final, but I'm like a really fast test taker, so I left, I like went and did my final, and I was done in like probably 10 minutes. And so I came back and I like put my key in the door and I was opening it, and then my RA was like over here and she like came and talked to me for a second, and I was like, oh hey, blah 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 blah. Like the door was open and I hadn't like fully, I just like opened it like an inch, and then we were talking, and then like I walked in the room and like went to my bed, and then like it became clear to me through over time that they had like, I had interrupted them. But like also like once I realized that, like part of me was like, oh shit, and then part of me was like, who cares, you guys already like fucked while I was in the room sleeping, so I don't really give a shit. And then my roommate was like, hey, can you go get the laundry? They're both like naked under the covers, and she's like, here's our card, and trying to like cover, and I'm like, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, over that summer we were having like brunch, and then she told us that like us and like there were 2 other people that we would hang out with that we were gonna live with the next year. She told all of us that they broke up because they like the only thing they had in common was like they liked the same band, and then they went and saw them, and then afterwards they had like nothing to talk about. So I was like, wow, so you ruined our friendship. You like, I have been sexually assaulted, but like I kind of consider that like a sexual assault almost, because like they involved me in like their sex act that I didn't consent to being a part of it. I didn't want to wake up to it. That's not how I wanted to start my day. So yeah, we stopped like being friends, but we already signed a lease to live together for a year. But like then I got out of it and found another person to live with. Well, actually we did live together for the next year, but then like after that, yeah, I was just like really distant the whole year and didn't like, yeah, just kind of silently like hating her and pretending everything was fine. And then like the next year I found a new roommate. She was cool, and like I think I've mentioned this before. So my first roommate, like when we moved in, I mentioned wanting to get like a loft bed, but I would get like a single loft bed. It's like a bunk bed, or like the bed's on top and then there's a desk underneath. And then my roommate was like, I don't think we should both get loft beds because then we'd like always be underneath something in the room. And then she went and got a queen size loft bed, so the bed's like going out further into the room than like my like single loft bed would have, and it's like covering actually, and then she has like the desk under, and it's like you're taking up way more space than like I wasn't allowed to get a loft bed, but she gets a queen loft bed. It was, or like double, whatever. I don't know if it's, I don't know bed sizes, but like it was double, I think. So yeah, then I got a new roommate, and then she was cool, but like she wanted to do more drugs. Like we were friends, and then like everyone else in the house didn't really like either of us, it seemed like, from my perspective. Like they all knew each other before, and then like I was just like leaving. They had a roommate who like flunked out, I think. She got on academic probation, so she didn't like get back in to the school, so like I took over her room. But like yeah, I don't think the roommates liked us very much, because like there was one particular day, I think they do this every year. IHOP does like a free pancake day where you go in and you can get pancakes and it's free, but if you get like a drink or something, then you just pay for that. So we're like, let's go get some free pancakes. Me and my roommate went, and we saw everyone, all of our housemates were like sitting there at a table together, and we're like, oh hey, and they're like, oh what's up, we didn't realize you guys were home. Or I think they said we didn't know if you were home, and it was like, if you don't know if we're home, you could have like texted us or like come to our room and been like, hey, what do you guys want IHOP? But yeah, they just like all went out without us, and like whatever. I didn't really care that much. It's like at least I don't live with my freaking ex-roommate. But then yeah, like I said, my roommate wanted to do more drugs, and like my housemates didn't approve. They would like judge her for it. Like she'd bring marijuana, and they'd like light a candle like outside our room, and my roommate was always like, I feel like they're judging us for the smell. I was like, who cares? But she did, so she moved out, and that kind of like felt like a betrayal to me. So I was like, we weren't like super close after that, because I was like, okay, you're just gonna like leave me with all these people who don't like us, that's fine. And then I got a new roommate after that, and then she came in with her parents, and like they were starting to build a loft bed. I'm like, I'm gonna hate this bitch. And then yeah, it ended up like not fitting, and they took it apart and went and got another bed. They returned it, and I was like, okay. Oh, that was like almost a really close call. But then like that girl did like invite a guy that she was seeing over, and I had like woken up in the morning and I was still in bed, but like my alarm hadn't gone off yet, and I was just like resting, you know, just like waiting for it to go off. And then she comes in with the guy that she's seeing, and they like lay in the bed, and I'm still just like laying there. They probably think I'm asleep, and it sounds to me, again, I'm like still a virgin at this point, but from my perspective it sounds a lot like she gave this guy a hand job while he was laying there. And again, like I wasn't sure. And then I was kind of laying there frozen, like, are you serious? Like, is this happening again? And I didn't know what to do. And so like again, I just like waited for them to stop, and then like left a couple minutes later. I was like, okay, just got up and like, okay, I'm just waking up now. But then yeah, after that was the morning, and then I like went to class and work and everything, and then I came home, and I was like not, and I didn't want to be in the same room as my roommate again. So she was like talking to me. I was kind of like, I think I was in the room by myself, and then she came up, and like she came home, and then I just like immediately got up and went downstairs. I was like, hey, bye. I don't want to be in the room with you. And then she was like, what, are you mad at me? And I was like, yeah, I heard you give what's his name a hand job this morning, whatever. And she's like, that is not what happened. But she never said what did happen. And then she like kind of just like didn't stay in our room again for a while. She just like went and like lived with the guy that she, yeah, I was like, okay, whatever. So I didn't have to deal with her. But then it was like basically me in the house by myself with these people I didn't know. But then we had one other new roommate who like we became friends. Oh my god. We would just like mostly watch HBO together, like Game of Thrones, because I had an HBO account. So yeah, we would like hang out. We're not friends anymore either. I'm not friends with any of these people. Anyway, so yeah, so I've had two people have sex while I was in the room. Once I was sleeping, once I was not. And then I had two friends that I met from work. We started getting closer. There was actually three of them. One of them sexually assaulted me. So he was, and then he graduated, so like he was out, but like the rest of us were still there and like hanging out. I invited the other two over to like watch movies and like drink wine and stuff. And yeah, I like fell asleep on the couch. I was on one couch, they were both on the other, and I woke up to them like making out, and I was like, oh my god, what the heck. So like I cut them off too, because I told both of them how upset it was like when the other people like had sex while I was in the room, and then like I was like, that really bothered me. And then like to wake up to like have both, I was like, okay. So like I stopped talking to both of them. And then I think like eventually like I tried making up with both of them, but it just like, I don't feel good about being with them. And one of them in particular was just like a really bad friend. Like he would like make plans with me and then like flake on them and then like lie to me. I'd be like, hey, I'm at the restaurant we were supposed to meet at, like, and he's like, oh, I'm on my way. And I'm like, okay, cool. And like waiting for him, and then he like an hour later I found out like he hadn't even left yet. He wasn't even home. He was at his neighbor's apartment and he never left. And I was like, why would you lie to me? Why don't you just say like oh my gosh. So yeah, we're not friends anymore. And then yeah, I had some friends from like work. That was what I was just talking about. And then I don't like I just like don't have any friends. They've all hurt me so much. Okay, and speaking of this like particular dynamic, the guy who sexually assaulted me before that happened, which I have a video about that, it's called like 10-year anniversary and then TWSA, just because I didn't want to put like sexual assault in the title, but I didn't want to like make it seem like 10-year anniversary, yay, and then it's like a happy video. So like anyway, yeah, there was a time we were talking before that where like I had seen on Snapchat like a bunch of my friends from high school like back home hanging out, and I was like really sad because I felt like they didn't like need me, like they didn't care about me or whatever, like they're all hanging out without me, and it was just like lonely. And then I like told the guy that we were like texting, and I was like, all my friends are hanging out without me on Snapchat or whatever, and then he was like, that's always sad, but like do they text you and tell you like they wish that you were there or whatever? And I was like, no. Like, do people do that? Like I've never had someone tell me that before. And I was thinking about it yesterday, and I'm like, I can't believe the guy who sexually assaulted me has had people tell him like, hey, we miss you, we wish you were here. And like I've never had that. Like I can't believe that this is my life. Like I try to be so nice, I try to be a good person, and then like that kind of shit happened. So I like, just that memory like made me start crying again yesterday. Like why why does this always happen? And like I just feel so alone still. Like I'll reach out to people and text them like happy birthday, and then like I don't get happy birthday texts. Sometimes I don't even get a response, like a thank you. So like I don't know. And I see these memes all the time of people being like, oh, I'm such a bad texter. Like my friends text me and it takes me like 3 weeks to respond. And it's like, okay, so I try not to take it personally. Like if I text somebody and they don't text me back, but then it's like, how is it every single person in my life is a bad texter? Like there's like maybe 2 people that I can text and like think like I'm pretty sure I'll get a response from them. And it's like everybody else in my life is just a bad texter. They're just like too busy. They just like don't have 4 seconds to be like, haha, lol, oh hey, like whatever. I don't know. Like I just like I don't like it. I'm so alone, and I just feel like what's the point? Like why am I even alive? You know what I mean? I started talking about this yesterday and then I kind of went on a tangent, but like my mom said she didn't want to have kids when she had me, and my dad did and made her stop taking birth control because she already had a son when they met, and he said like, I don't mind helping you like raise your son, but like I want to have kids of my own too. Like, but he didn't phrase it that way when I asked him. He said like, you're having my kids too. Like if I'm gonna help you raise your son, then you're gonna have my kids too, which like I don't like the wording of that, but like at the end of the day I guess it's like up to my mom to decide like if that's what she wants. And she told me that it's not what she wants. It wasn't what she wanted. And then like one of her friends that like keeps telling me like, oh, you know, like she's your mom, of course she loves you, you know, like don't you think if she loved me like you wouldn't need to tell me that I would know that? So like one of her friends was like Yeah, just trying to get me to like talk to her again. We were at dinner for my dad's birthday, actually. This is unrelated. And she didn't say anything really. Like, she just said, oh yeah, your mom's always wanted a family. She would always, because they were friends in like middle school, I think they met. I don't remember. Yeah, they're like childhood friends. And yeah, this lady's like, your mom's always wanted a family. She's always like, and I was like, okay, she literally told me to my face she did not want to have kids when she had me. Like, it doesn't matter if she if she grew up wanting a family, and then if she met some guy who got her pregnant, and then like, I don't know what happened there. I really my parents don't talk to me about their lives. Yeah, so like whatever happened with him, and then she had my brother, and like obviously something changed, and she didn't want to have more kids, and that's what she told me. So like, yeah, like I said yesterday, I came out of the womb with bruises all over my face. Like, I just and like this is where I started going on a tangent. I was like, as a feminist, I'm getting a spam call and the freaking notification. I freaking hate capitalism and advertising and technology and telemarketers, and messed up my video trying to get rid of that stupid notification. Anyway, I don't think I should be alive because my mom didn't want to have me, and like, as a person who believes in like bodily autonomy and like agency and like a woman's right to choose what to do with her own body, like if like, I could see from the other perspective where like, if it was my dad who like didn't want to have kids and my mom did, and like all my dad had to do was like have sex one time, and like, okay, and then my mom gets a kid and it's like a win-win situation, and like, okay, great. But it's not. It's the opposite of that, where like my mom didn't want to have a kid, my dad did. All he has to do is like have sex. He gets to like keep drinking and like doing drugs and whatever. My mom didn't want to have kids. She probably didn't have an orgasm, like, not to get too weird about like my parents, but like, just saying, like, there's an orgasm gap in society, so like the chances are like it wasn't as fun for her as it was for my dad. She had to carry like a baby inside of her belly, like walking around, uterus, not belly, whatever. She had to do that for like 9 months, 10 months. One of my teachers told us, they say it's 9 months, it's actually 10 months. So every time someone says 9 months, like, I always hear his voice. I'm like, it's actually 10 months. Anyway, so like, she had to carry me around for like the better part of a year, give birth, famously very painful, and then like raise a child that she didn't want, because obviously my dad like kept going to work. She kept going to work for a couple years, and then like she had my little sister, which like part of me thinks like maybe she saw how great my dad was, which like, he's an alcoholic. He was drunk for my childhood. I don't know if this is like necessarily what happened, but like maybe she was like, oh, he's such a good father, and then like maybe she changed her mind and then like wanted to have another baby, and so like then she had my sister who she like wanted but like that doesn't change the fact that she didn't want me when she had me. Like, so yeah, never felt loved by her. I always felt like everything I did was wrong. I spent so much time trying to like, I'm supposed to be talking about abandonment issues, but like it obviously stems from like my mom not loving me or like, let's just give her the benefit of the doubt for a second, me believing that she doesn't love me. But yeah, like, I wish I could remember like my childhood, and like I can't ask my parents about it because they're freaking alcoholics. Like, every time I ask my dad about something that happened when I was little, he's like, I don't know, I was probably drinking. Like, okay, great. So like, I can't go back and be like, well, this traumatic thing happened, this happened, like, I don't remember it. Like, nobody else remembers it, and I just like, I'm so upset. I wish so much of my life was different. I wish my mom wanted me. I wish I didn't feel like I was a product of rape. I wish, like, because like, if you think about it, like having sex with a condom and taking it off without like the woman's knowledge or permission is rape, because she agrees to sex under these certain conditions. And so like, if my mom didn't want to have a baby, then like, even if she like physically said, like, I'm sure that she felt coerced into having a baby. And so like, I consider that just not a good situation, and I wish that wasn't my life. I wish that wasn't my story. Like, I wish I felt like anybody loved me. And I just don't. I just don't. Even people who have told me, like, of course, like, but like I have an aunt who, I said my mom, like, kept working when I was born, and my aunt would, like, babysit me, and, like, I'm sure she meant well, but at the end of the, like, I'm a lesbian, and she was, like, very religious, and, this is more lesbian than this one, but, yeah, like, there were multiple times when she would say or do something homophobic that made me feel like I can't tell my family who I am. I can't, like, like, even if I had a girlfriend, I couldn't bring them over to, like, Christmas dinner because, like, everyone's homophobic. Like, I'll probably get, like, removed from the will or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't I don't like that this is my life. I don't like that this is how, like, so many gay people feel. Like, they can't be themselves. They can't, like, bring their partners home to their family. They have to hide who they love. Like, I hate that we live in this world where, like, women don't have the right to choose what to do with their own bodies. Like, I hate that the fucking telemarketer messed up my video and now I have to go stupid edit it. I'm just gonna put them together. But, like, that's a whole nother step that I have to do now. I'm just really upset. I wish everything was different. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like, I really didn't want to, like, make these videos. But, like, I was crying yesterday and I just felt like maybe somebody else felt like this. Like, I feel like obviously people don't talk about like not having friends. Who are they gonna talk to not having friends about? Because they don't have friends to talk about it with. Like if they talk about it with anyone, it would be like a therapist, and so, like, nobody hears it. And, like, so I just feel like maybe there's somebody else out there who feels similar. Like, they just don't have friends, and it's like, is this my fault, you know? Like, but at the end of the day, I was always like, sometimes, like, the people were still, like, near me. Like, I could have tried harder to be friends with them, but, like, a lot of times it's, like, out of my control. Like, their parents got a job in another state and they moved, and that was, like, before social media, and so, like, there was, like I tried calling them and they didn't answer, they didn't call me back. Like, there was nothing I could have done to, like, stay in touch with these people, and, like, I don't, like, I just like, it feels like something's wrong with me because, like, no one wants to, like, be my friend or, like, hang out with me or just, like, text me or whatever, like, text me back. Like, no one texts me first, and then if I text first, like, they don't text back. That's not true, but, like, it's very rare that I get texted by somebody else first. So yeah, I'm having a really hard time and I don't know what to do about it. I don't have any friends to talk to about it. Every time I talk to my dad about it, he starts, like, kind of, like, guilt tripping me, kind of. Like, he does these events where, like, he's in AA and they'll take, like, sober people and do these little, like activities or whatever, and I've gone to a bunch of them and I tried talking to people, and I just, like, people at AA events don't relate to me because I'm not an alcoholic, and they, like, it's not me saying that, like, oh, I don't like I've tried, and like if I'm, like, my dad and I went to we went on a trip to Europe and we were going to, like, different AA meetings, like, while we were there, and there was one in, like, Barcelona, and everyone went out to coffee after, and so, like, we were sitting there and I was, like, the only one not actually in the program, and, like, everyone's talking and I'm, like, trying to, like, start a conversation with somebody, and, like, I'd ask someone about their tattoos or something, be like, oh, I have a tattoo, like, maybe we can talk about that, and I would just get, like, they would just answer my question and then, like, immediately, like, start, like, they didn't want to talk to me because I don't relate to them. Like, they're having this problem in their lives and I just, like they can't stop drinking, and, like, I don't relate to it, and so, like, why would they want to talk to me about it when they could talk to someone else who does relate? And I just, like, I don't want to keep going to these stupid events where, like, I'm trying so hard and, like, putting in so much effort and nobody, like, is reciprocating, and, like, I don't even want to be hanging out with them in the first place. I want to hang out with, like, people my own age, people who I relate to too, people who are, like, gay, and, like, not, like, I want to be able to go out and, like, have a drink or, like, maybe smoke a joint with, like, my friends, and, like, I don't have any friends. And, like, I don't know, like I don't know what else to do about it. And it feels like at this point, like everyone already has like their groups of friends, they have their cliques, they have the people that they care about, and I'm just not one of them. And like as much as I try, like I could try like starting to invite people, like not stop waiting, which, okay, I've done this before. Like part of me was like, I don't get invited to things, and then I was like, maybe I should invite people to things more, and then maybe they think I don't like hanging out with them, so if I invite them to things, and then I would try inviting people to things and then get like flaked on. Like I don't know what's wrong. And then it feels like there's something wrong with me because I don't have friends. And then it feels like if people find out that I don't have friends, that they'll think something's wrong with me and not want to be my friend. And like, yeah, it's like, it's the same kind of thing as like I was a virgin until I was 25, and I just felt like, oh my, like I've never had sex, and like the longer that I wait, the weirder it's gonna be, and like the harder it's gonna be to find somebody. Because like I'd seen posts like online about like people not wanting to like be the first person that you like, especially in like a gay context. They're like, I don't want to be the first like woman that you sleep with, because then it feels like an experiment, you know. It feels like you're just like so like, yeah, I'm just like, it feels like it's harder and harder to find somebody who's like willing to be the first, like the more you wait. And like, I don't know, like it feels like like whatever friend I had, not like if I did like make a friend and like we hung out, and I would just like there'd be so much pressure on them to like fill this huge void in my life that like then they like feel overwhelmed and like don't want to hang out with me anymore, because I just like, I don't know, I don't even know what to say anymore. Okay, there were more stories. So I've talked about like a couple different people in the last video that I'll like bring up again. So there was a girl that I talked about, like in 5th grade we started being friends, and then she like transferred, she moved, and then so we started middle school and she went to a different school, but then she moved back and like joined us again. And so like I tried hanging out with her, but she'd like made friends on like her team in school, so like they all had different teachers and students in their class. So like I was like on a different team, so I didn't know anybody, that like I didn't know anything they were talking about. So like that friendship kind of like didn't really go anywhere. Like we didn't talk for years because like we just didn't have anything to talk about, even though we were like, I would have considered us like pretty close friends before she moved. Then like in high school, she was friends with like some of the band kids that I would hang out with, so like we reconnected a little bit there. And then I was like, okay, like it felt pretty good. I had like the friend from 2nd grade that like transferred to a different school and then came back, and then the girl from 5th grade, and I felt like, you know, like things were like coming back, and I had these like friends that I'd lost, but like they came back, and now like things were like better, things were gonna like get better. And then like, yeah, they all like, everyone went to colleges close by where we lived except for me, so like that was kind of like I felt like, again, like I would see them all hanging out because they lived within like an hour of each other, and so like on the weekends and stuff they'd go home, and not every time, like 3-day weekends or whatever, and I just like couldn't do that. So anyway, that one girl from 5th grade who moved, she this is after college, she had a lot of Twitter followers, and then like she started just like posting she started posting really weird stuff, like just really angry stuff, and like doxing people. She had a lot of followers, and she was posting like people's full first and last names online and being like, I hate this person is an abuser, this person ruined my life, and then it became like a whole group, like everybody that like hung out together, and she's like, just, I don't like, nobody's talking to me, obviously, I'm like on the outskirts of the group, so like I don't really know what's going on. Apparently she was like kind of seeing this guy, and then like she would post pictures, like screenshots of their text conversations, and like be like, this person sucked, but then I'd read the texts and they seemed like cute, and they all had like little hearts, and like she would heart respond to the messages, and then she would screenshot it then later, and it was like, this person's an abuser, but like I was like, what do you, I don't know. So I don't know what's going on. And then she, like, apparently she had been sexually assaulted by this person. That's what she was saying. Like nobody, I don't know, somebody was telling me a story about like somebody else who had been sexually assaulted, and like my friend went to that person and was like, that's not what happened, I know this person, they didn't do that, they would never do something like that. And so like they were like kind of gaslighting somebody else into saying like you weren't sexually assaulted, and then like claiming that they were sexually assaulted. And I was like, I don't know, I was really confused, I didn't know what was going on. And like I texted her and like reached out, I was like, hey, are you okay? And she was like, no, but she didn't explain, she didn't say anything else. I was like, okay, well, I don't know what's going on, but like your behavior on Twitter isn't okay. Like I know all feelings are valid, like if you are upset with somebody, you're allowed to be upset with them, but you can't like go on Twitter and like start doxing people, especially if you have a lot of followers. Like you don't know, I didn't say all of this, I was just like, hey, like what you're doing on Twitter isn't okay, and I'm explaining more to you guys now, but like I didn't say all of that to her. I was like, and she was like, okay, she told me, I never want to hear from you again unless it's an apology. And I was like, okay, fuck me then. Like, okay, I'm not gonna apologize for saying like you should stop harassing people and like doxing them, and like, yeah, I stand by that. Like it is, you are allowed to feel however you want, but you can't act however you want. Like that's bad. So, you know, so we're not friends anymore. And then there were people who would like, I would see posting like on social media, like hanging out with her and stuff, and I was like, okay, I don't really want to see that. So I like mute people who were like still friends with her. But like, I mean, one of them was like her sibling, and like we were never that close anyway, so I was like, okay, I don't really feel like I'm missing anything there, no offense, but like it was like whatever. And then there was like another guy who like he asked me out in 6th grade, so like we were friends, and then he asked me out, and then like I felt really weird, and I was like, I don't know what to do about this. And it took me like a couple days to like figure out how to respond to him. Like he kept asking like, so what? And I was like, I have to ask my parents, I don't know if I'm allowed to, like blah blah blah. And so like a couple days later, I told him no, my parents told me I can't or whatever. And then like we stopped being friends. He started hanging out with this other girl a lot, and then like my friend that I was just talking about told me that he asked her out too, and so I was kind of like, okay, like whatever. Like I thought we were friends for a little bit, and then it like we stopped being friends, even if we would hang out like through this other person. Like this guy and I were not close anymore. I was just like whatever. God, I hate this world. So yeah, he would post pictures with them, and like, so I lost a couple people that way just because I was like, I don't want to keep being reminded of this person who is like never wants to hear from me again, you know? So that's fun. And then I said I had a roommate in college, the guy who would like, we would watch Game of Thrones together and stuff. He was in a long distance relationship. Well, they worked together, and then she went and did like a foreign exchange program or something, and so they were long distance, and we were living together, and that's when like we would watch Game of Thrones a lot and stuff. And then so I graduated in 2016, and then it must have been 2021. I got a Facebook message from this guy. We'd shared like memes and stuff in the years since, but like we didn't really talk much. There was one time he was like, hey, I just was in the city where you live, like right by your house. And I was like, okay, cool. But he like left already, so it wasn't like, hey, I'm about to be there. And then like we met up, and like nothing happened. And yeah, he messaged me like years later and was like, hey, my girlfriend thinks we had an affair. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? Like, is this like a new, like, we haven't even talked in years. If she thought we were having an affair like while we were living together, why didn't it come up then? Like, it was just really, I was so confused. And then like I was like, I don't know how to reply to this. Like, do you want me to confirm that we didn't, like, you know that we didn't because you were there, and I know that we didn't, like, or do I need to convince your girlfriend that we didn't have an affair? Because if she doesn't, first of all, if she doesn't trust you, that's not my fault. That's like, or my issue. Like, I'm not even involved in this relationship. Like, why why is this on me? But it's like, if she doesn't trust you, that's unhealthy. Maybe you shouldn't be together. But like, is it up to me to convince her that we didn't have an affair? Because like, why would she trust me? If she thinks we had an affair, why wouldn't she be like, yeah, obviously she would lie. Like, yeah, I could be like, oh, of course we didn't have an affair. He knows that. She's not gonna believe me. Like, what's the, like, what do I even do here? So I was like, kind of asking, like, what do you, like, recently? Like, what do you mean? And then he sent me this long message about, like, how he's like, like, if you thought there was something more there, then I'm sorry, but, like, my relationship is, like, my priority, and so, like, I'm gonna block you or something. Like, I was like, okay, cool. I didn't do anything, and just, like, randomly out of the blue get, like, blocked by my old friend who, like, okay, cool. And, like, a lot of people thought, like, while we were living together, because, like, he was going through a lot. I think his dad lost his job, and then my housemate had, like, 2 jobs, and I think his laptop died. So, like, I think he was sending money back to, like, his parents to, like, help them, like, raise his, like, younger siblings, and also, like, struggling with schoolwork. Like, he didn't have a laptop. So, like, I had 2 laptops. I let him borrow my, like, smaller one that I just, like, I got it so I could bring it to class with me, and it's a little bit lighter, and I could just, like, take notes or whatever a little, and not, like, break my back every day. So, like, I had that second laptop, so I let him use that to, like, write his papers and whatever. And I also had, like, a little bit of extra money from my family. Like, I got money from my grandparents to go to school, so, like, I had some, yeah, I had some extra money, so, like, when he wasn't able to, like, pay his rent, I was able to cover it, and he promised that he'd pay me back, and then obviously he didn't, and then his girlfriend thinks we had an affair, so now I'm blocked, so now I'm obviously never getting paid back, so love that for me. But yeah, okay, I don't know, I feel like I was gonna say something else, but, like, it's probably not really relevant, because it's just, like, the whole, yeah, let's see, other people. There are other people, like, there's one guy that, like, we hung out after, I was sexually assaulted, like, the summer after, so it was really recent, and, like, I told him what happened, and, like, he kind of, like, he was driving, like, we were at the mall, and we'd spent, like, all this time together, and then we were, like, going home, and so I told him what happened, and then he was like, oh, I don't know what to say, and then, like, I kind of felt, like, the need to be like, oh, no, it's okay, like, you don't need to say anything, like, then you have to comfort them, and be like, no, I'm okay, like, don't worry about it, you know what I mean? And then, like, we kind of, like, haven't talked again since, really, so I'm like, I don't know, did I, like, make him uncomfortable by saying that, like, and yeah, there's just, like, all these friendships that, like, I don't know why they ended. They, like, sometimes, I don't know, what's up, little kitty cat, come here, no, he, like, went up like that, and then I put my legs down, and then he went back. Come here, I'm gonna pick you up and show you to the camera. Oh. Say hi to the people, buddy. Okay. But even though all of my friends have left me or, like, won't text me back, I still have this little guy. He left me too. Okay, I'm trying to think, like, what other adult... I've talked about these, like, other ones before. I had a roommate who, she was raped while we were working together, and, like, a lot of our coworkers, like, after I told them, like, that what happened, I told them on her behalf, because, like, she didn't want to have to keep, like, repeating the story, but, like, she wanted people to know. But then people thought she was lying, at least about one of the details about the person who did it, and so I was like, I don't want to ever talk to any of you again, like, I don't know. That might have been a bit extreme. And then this is, there's, like, one so like 2 days ago in my video at the end, I was talking about like I've cut some people off, and I was like debating. I was like, I don't know if this is like me, like I'm the problem because this keeps happening where like I have to cut people off, and like, am I the problem, or like am I in the right for like protecting my boundaries or whatever? Like what do I think, you know? So yeah, there was this guy who like jumped me on Valentine's Day, and we worked together, and then like I thought that maybe he would like, after we worked on a TV show, and so like yeah, we met in like October, and then Valentine's Day he told me he was like, he'd started seeing someone else 2 weeks ago, and they were hanging out a lot and made things official the night before. So he kind of like dumped me on Valentine's Day, and then we were still working together, but like luckily my job was like mostly separate from everyone else, so I rarely saw him, and when I did I just like ignored him. It was like fine. So like we finished out the season, and then like a lot of people didn't come back for the next season, and I thought he would probably be one of them, because like he didn't want to do our job, he wanted to be an actor, and so I was like, maybe he's gonna like focus, because there was another guy on our team who also like wanted to be an actor more, and so he decided to quit to focus on acting, I think. And so I was like, I think the other guy, the guy who jumped me on Valentine's Day, is like probably gonna do that too. I don't know, but he didn't. So like we ended up working together a little bit more, and I decided like at some point I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like have to get over this like resentment towards him, because like I'm gonna have to see him, and like work sucks if I'm just like that, because there were other people that I would want to talk to like on set and stuff, and then it's like if he came around it would just totally like just fire up my blood would just start boiling, and I just got like really pissed off just like seeing his stupid face. It's like it'd ruin any other like conversation I was having. I was like, okay, I have to go. Actually, like so I was like, I gotta like get over this, and I texted him and I was like, yeah, you really fucked up, but I didn't say that. You fucked up, but I don't want this season to suck, so I'm just gonna like move on, you know, just get over it, I guess. Try to stop taking things so personally, because it's like he didn't just like dump me because he hated me and wanted to hurt my feelings. Like he met someone else, and they like and we also weren't like officially dating, so like he didn't really dump me at all, like but that's just like, for lack of a better term, I guess, it's just like short and sweet and to the point. Dumped on Valentine's Day, just like boom, got it. But it's like, actually we weren't really officially dating, we were kind of just talking, and like blah blah blah. It's, yeah, it just like muddies it up. Like, so anyway, so we were still like working together, and there were other people like that joined our team because a lot of people didn't come back. So like some of them added me on Instagram, and then like this guy like originally when we first like started talking, he added me on Instagram, and like whatever, like I had deleted TikTok at that point, and like when after Valentine's Day at some point I like re-downloaded TikTok and saw that he had like added me on there too, and like went and liked some of my videos. And one of my videos was I stitched a guy. There's a really popular video that was like telling women, there's a guy standing, he's like, women, like why do you keep dating men who only want to fuck you? Why do you keep dating men who blah 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 blah? And then I stitched it, and like I didn't really know how to use technology at all, so like I didn't know how to like change the audio, so it was like him still talking, but then I just like put text over like my face. I was like, hey men, why do you pretend to want to date women that you only want to sleep with? Hey men, why do you blah 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 blah? And so like I went and saw, like I opened TikTok for the first time in like months, and so like the guy who dumped me on Valentine's Day had liked my video about asking men why they pretend to date women they only want to fuck. So it's like, wow, that's cool. Anyway, but yeah, I was like, so there were a bunch of people that like new coworkers that we were adding each other on Instagram, and like this guy, like every time, like when he dumped me on Valentine's Day, I blocked him, and then like there was one other time like I tried to make up with him, and then like he pissed me off again. So like I blocked him again. And then like after this like third time, when I was like, hey, work's gonna suck if like I don't just like, you know, sorry, like let's just move on for the sake of the show, you know. That so he added me again on his, I was like kind of like, we don't need to do this time, let's just not. But yeah, so he added me again, followed me again, and then I got laid off. And he, like I said before, he knew that I was getting laid off for 2 days, and didn't tell me, which like after he knew for 2 weeks that he was seeing someone else, and didn't tell me until Valentine's Day that like he didn't want to like be with me. I just like, I felt really betrayed again by that. But I was like kind of trying to like push it off, because I'm like, it's not really his job to tell me that I was laid off. He probably would have gotten in trouble if he did, I don't know, but like, yeah, but still like I can't get over it. I'm like, he still knew, and like it's still a betrayal in my eyes. So I'm like after like nothing had changed, like he still didn't like text me first or anything. Like I still felt like you know, chopped liver or whatever. Like, what am I, chopped liver? I was like, I'm just gonna like block him again. And then like I blocked a bunch of other people because like that still worked with him, because I just felt like every time I click on their story, I'm like, I hope this guy is not in it. Like I hope I don't have to see him, because like I think maybe one day on Halloween or something, they like, people came dressed in costumes, and then so like they posted like a group picture and like he was in it, and I was like, oh, like, so like every time I open one of their stories, I'm like just like cringing, like I hope I don't have to like look at this guy's face. And like most of the time he wasn't, obviously, like he's their boss, but like yeah, it's still, I was like, this isn't worth it, like I don't. And then like I think I just was muting people, because so like I wouldn't have to see them, but like I didn't want to like block them or unfollow them or whatever. But then what happened was, so yeah, I got laid off in like September, and then we were following each other on Instagram for like months, and then there was like this big, 2 of them were roommates, and they threw like a big Christmas party, and I wasn't invited, and I just like, again, like saw all these people that like I knew all of them, and like I thought they all like liked me, and like my roommate still worked there after I got laid off. She got laid off too, and then she decided to take another job there, and I was like, absolutely not, that sounds like the worst thing. Like my job was health and safety monitor, so it was sitting and reading basically. Like I had masks to give out and hand sanitizer and like sanitizing wipes, but like most of the job was sitting there reading, or like I could crochet at work, and I finished a bunch of stuff, and like so I got laid off because they cut the prep strike team, so like the people who are still working on set didn't get laid off, just the people who are working with like the people who work with the important people, the actors, they really matter, but like the people who build the sets, they can get COVID and die, we don't care about them. So the prep strike team got laid off, and then, God, what was I gonna say? So the other job that they offered us was PA, which is production assistant. They're not allowed to sit down. Like I've heard the PAs complaining, like, yeah, if they catch us like sitting down, we get in trouble or whatever. And I'm like, they're like, yeah, you're getting laid off, but like if you want, we can like talk to the whatever guy about making you a PA. And I'm like, that sounds like the worst possible option. Absolutely not. So yeah, I was like, she was still working there, so I'm sure she was invited, like whatever. But like, yeah, like my roommate was still working there, so I was like I just felt like if they wanted me there, they could have invited me, and they didn't, and I was like, whatever. Oh, actually, like my roommate and I were fighting, so maybe that's why. Like, not fighting, but like I was really pissed at her because she wasn't paying her fair share of the rent, and obviously I'm never getting paid back about that either. Okay, abandonment issues. Were there any more that I was thinking of? Yeah, I guess I'll just say, like, there were a couple times in the last like year or so, not year now because like I moved, the year before I moved, so like yeah, I didn't have a lot of friends, and I would like cry about it to my dad, and then he would like try to help me like, so like we started rock climbing and stuff, and like there was one time I was talking to a girl and like her boyfriend after like waiting for my dad to like finish, like he was in the bathroom or whatever, and so like I was talking to her, and then like he came out of the bathroom, he's like, you guys should exchange numbers. I'm like, fuck, like I don't want to. Like if she wanted my number, she could have asked me for it. I don't want you to have to like tell people like, why don't you exchange numbers? So like didn't like that, but then obviously we had to, so like I was like whatever. And then yeah, it happened like a couple times. He's like, why don't you exchange? And then like I would text somebody and be like, hey, like when are you going rock climbing? And like I just like wouldn't hear back from them still, and like so I was like, this isn't working. And then like she did eventually text me and ask me if I wanted to like go on a backpacking trip, but like then my dad and I needed to move, so we had to like come out and like look for houses, so it didn't work out. And also she was having like car trouble. She's like, I don't know, my check engine light's on, I might need to like not, so it probably wouldn't have happened anyway, but like there was like one time I got a text inviting me to something, but it was like something I didn't really want to do. Like I would rather just like go out for drinks than like go on a backpacking trip for like a whole weekend. Like I've been backpacking before, it was fine, but like I don't want to do it again. Really. And like I would have, just because she asked me, and like because no one invites me and things, and it's just like and then like there was a guy that worked there that like one time when I walked in, I just felt like I don't know, I felt like I was just aware of like his presence, like wherever I was in the building, I knew where he was, and I was like, is this what sexual attraction feels like? So I thought I had a crush on him for a little bit, and then I was trying to like talk to him like while he was there at work, and it just seemed like the timing never worked. Like I'd show up, like I'd walk in, and then he'd be like teaching new people how to like use the ropes and stuff, literally, not figuratively, because it's rock climbing. Anyway, so like I'd walk in and be like, oh, I'm gonna say hi and like talk, and then he's like busy when I walk in, and like so it just like never seemed to work out. And then I messaged him on Instagram because I was like, I just like have tried so many other things like, and it's not working, so I'm like, I'm just gonna let him know, just like, hey, I think I have a crush on you. And then like he didn't like respond to that message at all, which is like predictable. And then there was like my dad and I started going to the farmer's market too, and there was this girl who sold honey there, and we were talking about like crochet one time, because I wore like a crochet thing that I made, and she was like, oh, I like to crochet, but like I mean I don't have time with work most of the time, but like I would love to learn how. And so like my dad's like, you should exchange numbers, and I was like, fuck off, like stop telling people that. So yeah, we exchanged numbers. I texted her, she didn't respond for like 6 days, and then like I've told this story before too, but there was a girl at the same job, like the guy jumped me on Valentine's Day. She started in January, and so like we were kind of like still talking, but like I met her, I was like, oh my god, she's so pretty. And I would like get like jealous of like her getting to spend time with this guy, like, oh my god, they spend so much time together at work, like he's gonna dump me for her. And then he dumped me on Valentine's Day. I'm like, I bet it was for that girl, she's so pretty. And like there was one time I was talking to her, and like I remember walking away and just being like, oh my god, she's the best. Like like I am bisexual, maybe in another life, you know, because like I have this guy already, we're like in love or whatever. Like my roommate was convincing me that like he was in love with me, and so yeah, I was like, maybe in another lifetime. And then I got dumped on Valentine's Day, and then yeah, she was like always there. She was always there and like so nice, just, like always saying like, oh my god, it's so good to see you, and like yeah, just like she would distract me from that dummy. Anyway, so like then I started having feelings for her, and then I got laid off. She knew I was getting laid off for 2 days too. But like she didn't dump me on Valentine's Day after seeing someone else for 2 weeks, so I was like, I don't really care that she knew, you know. But like eventually I did start to be like, okay, that was kind of like, I don't know, can I trust her? obviously not. And then, so yeah, whatever. So I started having feelings for her. I would text her like every day at work because like we had to text her like what times we worked so she'd do our schedules. And then so I think she just like muted everybody's texts that she worked with, and then she would check it like once a week at the end, like when she was doing the schedules. And so like I would text her like every day and she wouldn't respond until like once a week maybe. She'd like heart like 3 of them or whatever, because I wasn't just putting like in 5 a.m. lunch 12 to 1 out 5:45, like whatever, which I saw other people doing, and I'm like, that feels so like heartless and just like robotic, you know? Like I would hate getting texts like that. So like I would try to make them fun and like funny and like interesting. So yeah, she would like heart a couple at the same time, and sometimes she'd like not respond to the text but like come up to me and talk to me in person about it. And so like I was like, okay, like maybe she would just rather talk to me in person than text because she likes me. And then yeah, I got laid off. She still wasn't responding to any of my texts, and then like I was like, whatever. I tried to like see if she wanted to hang out, and she didn't respond. And then I was like, just after like a month or something, like I told her that like I had feelings for her, and then she still didn't respond. And then it kind of became like a thing where I was just like, I would just text her like anytime I was like, again, my dad and I went backpacking through Europe, and I started seeing her name like everywhere, and it was just like, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night, and I would just like have these like these words like running through my head that wouldn't stop until I typed them out, and I would type them into my notes app, because what's that show, American Vandal, they say always draft in the notes app. And I can't remember the name of the show, but that stuck with me. I always draft in the notes app now so they can't see the little dots when you're typing. So yeah, I open my notes app, I type out these like really long embarrassing texts to her, and then like I tell myself like I'm not gonna send it, I'm just gonna type it so it's out of my head, and I'm not gonna send it. And then like as I'm typing it, like I'll like something like, you know, you gotta trust the process. So like I'll have like some like one phrase or something that I'll keep repeating in my head, and then I'll type it, and then it starts to like unravel more. And so like the text would be like, it would start with this one phrase I was repeating and then just become like really long. So like as I was typing it, I would like I would, you know, like make a joke and be like, that was pretty funny, and then like later I'd like call back to the joke, and I'm like, these are just like so good, they're too good to stay in my notes app, and she's not reading them anyway, she probably muted me, like it doesn't matter. And so like I texted her like 37 times, let's say 36, 30, 35 at this point. I texted her like 35 times in a row because like we were in Europe for a month, and I would see her name everywhere, and then like every night I couldn't sleep, so like it was like every night I was texting her some like dumb long text. God, anyway, embarrassing. And then so like the farmers market thing happened, and like I texted her, she didn't text me back for like 6 days, and then I texted the girl that I liked before this whole long message. I was like, you know how you never text me back? Well, guess what? Now nobody texts me back. And then, so I sent that message, and then like shortly after I heard like the text notification go off, and I was like, oh my God, is it her? Did she respond? And it was the honey girl had finally responded, and I was like, I wanted it to be the girl that I just messaged, not the girl who took 6 days to respond. Like, I just didn't care anymore. Like, I wasn't like interested in her. I was just like, she's not texting me back too. And then like that was like text 36, I think, and then the rock climbing guy thing happened, and then that was like text 37. So yeah, there's just like a lot of texts in a row. Why did I bring that up? Yeah, but like at the end of the day, I kept feeling like even if she was responding, like even if she did like me back and like we started like dating or whatever, well, I kept telling myself this. Okay, I was like, I would, like, even before I got laid off, like when she did text me, like she would use, like every text had the name of the guy who like dumped me on Valentine's Day. She's like, oh, I was talking to blank and he said blah blah blah, and like I was like, okay, like I wish that wasn't happening, but like at least I'm getting a text. So like I kind of realized like if anything did happen, like I would have to hear about like her days, like she's telling me about her day, like he's gonna come up like constantly because like they work together like really closely, and like yeah, I was like, but at the end of, like I was like, I feel like if like we did get together, like that I would have reframed this like getting dumped on Valentine's Day thing, like it would have been like, okay, it was all worth it because I went through all of that to get to like this relationship that like potentially like could have been better. I don't know, but like obviously not, 'cause she won't even text me back. I deserve someone who would text me back. But like there was also a time when she told me, like I was crying. There's like this like, what did they call it, like team building thing that we like, this is, so we had season 3, a bunch of people quit after, and then like we came back like after the hiatus, and then like 2 weeks later a bunch of new people started for season 4, but like there was like some in-between stuff that they were doing for like 2 weeks, so they just had like the old crew back for that. We had a team building meeting during that time before the new people started. For some reason there were two new people who had started at the same time as like the old people, so it was like really weird. I was like, why wouldn't you wait for the new people to start a team building exercise? Anyway, it was awful. The guy who jumped me on Valentine's Day was there. I didn't know he was gonna be there. Like the way that our boss told us, like she told the prep strike people, like you're gonna have, like she told like there were 4 of us, she told the 4 of us, like there were 3 of us at the time though. She told the 3 of us, we're gonna have a meeting. I thought it was gonna be just like the 4 of us with us and the boss, about like specifically prep strike or something, and then it turned out to be like the whole team and the team building exercise. And so I was like not expecting to see the guy who jumped me on Valentine's Day, not expecting to have to like do team building exercises with him, but I was so pissed off. Anyway, yeah, and then the girl that I liked, she like came up to me and was talking to me after, and I was like standing there like kind of like seething. I was like, I can't believe I have to like be stuck with this guy all the time. And then she like walked up to me and we started talking, but then like he came up and like started talking to us too, and I was like, oh, like I wish this was different. I wish everything in my life was different. Yeah, what was I gonna say? I kind of just like started talking about her because I was like, I just liked she's just so pretty. But yeah, oh, I was crying. Like we had to like drive to the mall and then like do this stupid like VR thing, and I was like, nobody told us we were doing this, like I didn't want to do this, and I was stuck with a guy who dumped me on Valentine's Day on my team, and I just like I was getting really upset, and I like decided, like we were about to go into the VR thing, and I was like, I don't feel good, like let me out of this. Like we were all strapped up in with our like little, I was like, get me out of here, I don't want to do it. So I went out, and like the other team had already gone, so like that girl was sitting there, and I was like, they're like, why are you walking out by yourself, like what happened? I was like, oh, I just don't really feel good. And then she offered to like go and get me food, and I was like, okay, that sounds good. And then like I was sitting there like with everyone else, just kind of like having a hard time like breathing, and it started like becoming a problem. Someone's like, do you want to go outside? And I was like, yeah. And so I went outside, and I like immediately saw a bench and like made a beeline to it. I sat down. I checked my astrology app to see like what the current chart was. I took a screenshot of it, and I think I started crying just like, I think as soon as I sat down, and then I like stopped for a second and I was like, I wonder what what the planets are doing. So I took a screenshot of my astrology app, my transits, for what was going on, and then like I looked up, and like the girl, she went with another girl too, to get me food, and I saw her coming back, and then I just like immediately like collapsed again and started crying, and I was like, oh my god, like. And so she came over and like hugged me, and like I talked to her, like, and she just like held me while I was crying, and it was so nice. And I think that's like, yeah, kind of, that was like right before I like tried to forgive this guy. I was like, the season's gonna suck, so like whatever. Anyway, I don't know what I was gonna say. Yeah, I'm just sad, and I miss that girl, and she won't text me back, and no one else will text me back either. Oh, I was gonna say, like, she told me, like, after she held me while I cried, she's like, you can call me whenever, and I just thought, like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I don't like talking on the phone, actually. Oh, fuck. 1, 2, 3. I messed up. Okay. Yeah, it's like, I never really liked talking on the phone. I prefer texting, but, like, yeah, she's like, you can call me whenever. And so, like, that was, like, a month and a half before I got laid off. And then, yeah. So I never called her because I don't like talking on the phone, and it kept, like, I kept thinking about it. I was like, what if, like, that's the one thing, like, she's, like, dated people before, and, like, they just, like, she wants somebody to call her and nobody calls her. She wants to talk about her day on the phone at the end of the day. It's just, like, waiting out for somebody, like, holding out for the person who will, like, call her. I'm like, maybe I should just call her. But then I kept thinking, like, she's probably busy. Also, like, what would I even say? Also, like, she's probably just gonna, like, end up talking about the guy who dumped me on Valentine's Day the whole time. Like, she's like, work is so annoying. Like there was one time she's like, thank God for blank, and I was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. Like, I hate that I have to just, like, pretend everything's fine. Yeah. There was also, okay, at the team building meeting, like, our boss made us go around and, like, she had us write down, like, 5 things that we were, like, proud of or something, and then she had us go around and, like, say one of them, and yeah, I said, like, I was happy, I was proud of myself. One of them that I wrote down was, like, I started writing music about getting dumped on Valentine's Day, and so one of them was, like, turning heartbreak into art, but then, like, I didn't want to talk about that with the guy, like, sitting right there, so I was like, I talked about something else. And then he talked about, like, he regretted something, like, sometimes he would make impulsive decisions, and he didn't regret his decision, but he regretted his timing. And I was like, gee, I wonder what he's talking about. And yeah, I was just like, I don't know. Like, I feel like, to me, saying, like, I regret my decision, but I don't regret my decision, but I regret my timing. Like, okay, obviously he means, like, he picked the girl that he was supposed to be with, and, like, just wish he told me earlier. But, like, to me, I was like, your timing is a part of the decision. Like, your timing to tell me is a part of the decision. Like, you didn't tell me until after you were already, like, officially together, like, and on Valentine's Day. Like, obviously he didn't plan it that way, but, like, we were texting a lot. Like, I had texted him, I was like, Valentine's Day is coming up. He asked me first if I wanted to be his Valentine. Like, I thought Valentine's Day was, like, a thing. It was, like, a sure thing, you know? And then, yeah, I was like, I'm just I'm tired of, like, trying to, like, make connections with people and, like, just ending up being, like, feeling like I just tried so hard and got so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter. Yeah, I don't know what to do anymore, and I think I'm just gonna, like, accept that I'm just a loner and stop trying, try to stop caring. And I tell myself, like, you know, like, we're all one, we're all connected. So, like, right now I may feel like I'm missing out on, like, going to parties and, like, hanging out with people all the time or something, but, like, at the, you know, like, I'm gonna die and my soul is gonna return back to the oneness or whatever, and, like, it's not gonna matter. I'm gonna, like, you know, but, like, it's I wish I didn't have to tell myself stuff like that. Like, maybe after I die I'll, like, feel okay about this. Like, I don't know. I wish things were different. I wish, like, capitalism wasn't a thing. And I could probably talk about that for a long time. Like, maybe that'll be my next video, but just, like, I feel like more people feel like the way I feel than would be willing to admit it, just because it's, like, embarrassing. And like I said, like, it makes me feel like if someone finds out, they're gonna think something's wrong with me. Like, oh, she must be weird, she doesn't have friends. Like, I've seen posts that are like, it's a red flag if a girl doesn't have friends or something. Like, you don't want to date somebody who doesn't have friends, and it's like, Okay, so like now my lack of friendship is like gonna interfere with like, and like I don't have a partner. It's so sad. And like, okay, Dr. Gabor Mate talks about like babies feeling abandoned by their parents, even if it's just like the parents just have to go to work. But like, we don't have to structure society like that. Like, maternity leave is the thing in other countries. I'm in the United States, but like maternity leave, paternity leave would help a lot. Remember when like one person could go to work and make enough money for the whole family? The minimum wage was designed for one man to work and be able to like buy a house with his wife and kids, like, and fully support all of, like, that's what minimum wage is supposed to be, and it just isn't that way anymore. Like, most people need like 2 jobs just to be able to afford an apartment. And like, we could choose to structure society differently. We could choose to like have rent control or something, or like just abolish money altogether. Like, oh, you're alive, that means you're deserving of shelter and food and water and clothing, like everything that you need to survive, because you didn't ask to come into this world. Other people brought you in here, like to here against your will. So welcome to the party, you know? Like, we don't have to be like, well, you were born to poor people, so you need to prove that you deserve to live. Like, it doesn't need to be like this. And we could make it so like parents don't have to leave their kids and go to work. Which like I saw a post yesterday that was like pointing out, like, I didn't see it yesterday, whatever, it doesn't matter. They're like, daycare is so expensive, and also people who do the daycare aren't getting paid. They're not making a living wage. You spend so much money like sending your kids to school, and the teachers and grad students teaching aren't making a living wage. Like, where's all this money going? And they had like a couple other examples, but it's like nothing, like everything's so expensive, and yet like none of the money is going to the people who are providing this work, this labor, this care. And I just like, I guess, yeah, I'm just changing. This isn't my abandonment issues anymore. This is about like, we need to change the way that we structure society. We need community. We need to like make sure everybody's needs are met. Like, that's the basic. Like, nobody should be going to bed hungry. Nobody should be living on the streets when there's more than enough homes. There's more than enough food being thrown away. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna stop it there, just because this is already in an hour, and I had another video that I've got to like stitch them together now. So thanks a lot, telemarketers. So yeah, free Palestine, free Sudan, free Congo, and capitalism, freedom for all oppressed beings everywhere. Thank you for watching. I have other stuff you can check out, links below if you want. Okay, bye!